The Detroit Pistons hired former Cavs coach J.B. Bickerstaff. And you know what? I'm not surprised by that. Trajan Langdon, there's some ties to the Cavs organization. The other thing is, J.B. Bickerstaff did a pretty good job of taking a team that was really far down, kind of where the Pistons are, and getting them to competitiveness.
That's who he is as a coach, Dave. I think there are different coaches for different situations, right? And I think JP Bickerstaff is the kind of coach for a rebuilding team. He's going to get a young team to buy in. He's going to instill a culture. His problems tend to be more playoff related. Like, what kind of playoff chess master are you? How good are you when it comes to X's and O's? How creative can you be offensively and defensively? How quick can you make decisions within the flow of the game? What's your roster management like? What's your minute allocation like? How do your rotations set up and stuff like that? And if there is a knock on JB, it's not stuff that Detroit demands right now at this current state. They need somebody who's going to get them to compete. They need somebody who's going to pull them out of the rebuild darkness. They need somebody who's going to give them an identity and put a culture in place. And JB does that. So that's the thing, Dave. You mentioned it. I don't think we can sit here and say that it was a guarantee that the Cavs were going to get to this place where they are right now, back-to-back playoff appearances, coming off an Eastern Conference semifinals trip. We can't just sit here and say that it was a guarantee that any coach could have stepped in for John Beilein and fixed that complete and utter disaster that was that coaching hire, right? There was no guarantee that the Cavs were going to get out of this. Teams go through rebuilds, and sometimes they go through rebuilds for like 10 to 15 years. So yeah, the Cavs added talent throughout the time that JB was here. But the fact that he took over for John Beilein and did what he did for this organization to get them to this place, you can't overlook that. You can't take that for granted. And you can't just assume that somebody else would have been able to do that. It takes the right person. It takes the right coach at the right time. And I think JB's that for the Detroit Pistons, because what they need most is what he's best at.